evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, those who went to court against the Sabrimala Temple's rules which ban women are now getting death threats, and they've told the Supreme Court about it today. This comes days after the court had observed that not allowing women inside the temple went against the constitution. Why shouldn't women be allowed in all places of worship? That's our big debate tonight. Well, days after the Supreme Court observed that the ban on the entry of women into the Sabrimala Temple was unconstitutional, the lawyers who had filed the plea in court are getting death threats. One lawyer says he's been warned to drop the plea or his house will be blown up. The issue has generated huge controversy for years, since the Ayyappa temple only allows those women who've reached menopause and girls who haven't hit puberty. The rules have been questioned for a long time, but Prayar Gopalakrishnan, the head of the Travancore Devasam board, is very upset with the court's observations, saying in an interview recently that the notions of impurity are not outdated and that while these beliefs may be old, beliefs are beliefs, is what he has said. Well, tonight we're not just looking at the Sabrimala temple, but all places of worship. And why shouldn't women be allowed to enter all places of worship? Is it time to end this age-old tradition in the name of belief and tradition? Joining us on the program tonight, we have Ranjana Kumari, the Director for Centre for Social Research, Vasant Kanibiran, feminist author and activist, Rahul Ishwaran of the Sabrimala Temple. He's the grandson of the former chief priest of the temple, and Mr. J. Sai Deepak, advocate of the Delhi High Court. Let me ask you first, Ranjana Kumari, this really has taken on a very ominous turn. Now these lawyers are getting death threats serious enough to warrant them to go to the Supreme Court and express their concern there.
Well, I think this speaks volumes about the intolerance, Nidhi. I also have been on the programs, and Rahul Ishwar knows that I have been on many programs with him, talking about the right of women to enter the temple, and this whole idea, who defined these rules, who really created these rules, were women. If God created these rules, he would have never done that, because he created men and women equally, so he could not have discriminated against women. It is the men who sat in these institutions, and also the whole Brahminical tradition which looked at women's body at different point of time as pure and impure, to also basically to create this whole subjugation that we experience. Anyway, Nidhi, to tell you the truth, even I have faced loads of, even I think Rahul Ishwar wrote some article, and in response to that article, loads of abuses people have hurled on me. They have tweeted against me. They are saying all kinds of very, very lowly, nasty things, which I cannot express on your television channel because I don't want to come down to that level. But this intolerance is not going to be helpful, because I think we have to understand three things. One, that women under the Constitution of India have equal right. You cannot just say because they menstruate, and also the menstruation is the biological process for procreation. If there is no menstruation, there will be nobody born ever. So I think that is a very, very pure, very, very, you can say the very godly process of human body.
I'm going to get to that, but I think what's worrying at the moment, Rahul Ishwar, is the reactions to what the Supreme Court has observed and what people like Ranjana, have supported. And, do people deserve death threats and abuse for expressing that point of view? Rahul, would you condemn those who are abusing and who are issuing all kinds of threats?
Nidhi ji, I thank you for the opportunity, and I would like to condemn categorically any threat or abuse. And on behalf of devotees, I would like to apologize for any hurt or inconvenience caused to Naushad Ahmed Khan, Ravi Gupta and Young Lawyers Association. I was trying to call Naushad Ahmed Khan and I couldn't get him over the phone. I have personally sent him an SMS saying apologies, because some hot-headed devotees might have said that. That is not our position. But coming to the debate, let Muslim women first enter mosque is not our argument. Let Christian women first and become priests is not our argument. Faith is delicate and fragile.
Every time like this, Rahul.
Hold on.
No.
Please listen, don't show intolerance.
When we talk about,
please listen,
Rahul,
don't show intolerance.
You talk about Muslims, you talk about Christians, you talk about anybody else, but you're not talking about and looking within. You're not looking at this.
I want to talk about all places of worship.
Intolerance.
I do. One
this
second.
is the leftist intolerance.
No. Ranjana ji,
this
I want to
is
talk
another
about
kind of intolerance of the left wing.
Nobody needs to yell. Let's ease up.
Nobody
One second.
Every time.
I want to talk about this, all places of worship, because there's also a landmark case regarding Haji Ali, which is in the Bombay High Court right now, where women also have challenged why they are not being allowed into the inner sanctum. So we're going to talk about that as well. But Rahul Ishwar, you are saying you condemn these threats, you condemn these abuses.
My argument.
Yeah, go ahead, Rahul.
I have to categorically condemn. Just give me 30 seconds to put forward my argument.
Go ahead.
Let Muslims women enter mosque is not our argument. We are not going to raise a communal argument. Let Christian women become priests is not our argument. Faith is delicate and beyond logic is not our argument. Women are impure and periods are impure is not our argument. Listen to our argument and condemn. Our argument is only three things. One, the reason for regulation on young women is because of Naishtika Brahmacharya. Second, because of Naishtika Brahmacharya. Third, because of Naishtika Brahmacharya. Every temple is having a unique temple concept or a temple philosophy. Ayyappa temple in Sabarimala has a philosophy of this. There is a ladies Sabarimala, Sabarimala for women, Artigal, where no man offers Pongala and 30 lakh women offer Pongala. Is it discrimination? No. This is this temple's philosophy and that is the other temple's philosophy. And we believe this is not discrimination, this is differentiation.
Shouldn't we challenge philosophies, Vasant Kanaberan? Shouldn't we be challenging philosophies and things that may be traditions that we feel may not have a place in the 21st century anymore? Traditions, after all, do evolve.
Would you just repeat that?
I'm asking, the argument that Rahul Ishwar is giving is that this is a philosophy of the temple based on an age-old tradition.
Okay.
Don't we?
Philosophy
traditions also evolve. Traditions also evolve, don't they?
Philosophy is always open to interpretation. Who are the people who are the philosophers? Who are the people who are interpreting this philosophy? And then there is also a question of what is the law of the land. Who does this temple belong to? Who does it belong to? On what land does it stand? Are women citizens or not? Who declares? In Hinduism, we've had this whole history, we've had a whole tradition of declaring women impure or, not worthy of coming in for various occasions. We have a whole history of oppression against women. Now, if women want to go up and worship at this shrine, I don't see that there can be any philosophy. These philosophies are man-made. They are interpreted by men. Who are these people who will declare that women are impure or want to go? I personally would not want to go up to Sabarimala.
You would not want to.
But if women want to go, if they feel that there is some spiritual solace that they can get, they have a fundamental right to go wherever they want. And we cannot allow a group of people aboard to prevent that.
Mr. Deepak, why do you shake your head with that? I mean, this sounds like a question of a basic fundamental right. If a woman who is 30 years old wants to go and worship at the Sabrimala temple, why shouldn't she?
Because just 2 days ago, addressing precisely this point, I wrote an article highlighting the fact that there are two sets of rights which are in question. The first right is that of the woman, which is a fundamental right to enter the temple. Equally, the countervailing right on the other side is the right of the shrine and the Travancore Devaswam board under Article 26 of the Constitution, which is equally sacrosanct. Unfortunately, the entire discussion is reduced to the set of rights enjoyed by women under the Constitution. First of all, these are not constitutional rights, these are fundamental rights. Let's get that clear. Both sets of parties are asserting two sets of fundamental rights. One is the right to enter the temple, and the other is the right to maintain the religious practices of the temple under Article 26B of the Constitution. Now, before we move further to the topic, I'm happy that you at least said that the subject of the topic is not limited to Hindu institutions and it's open to everybody else. And I'm happy that you even pointed out the issue of Haji Ali Dargah, because the statement that was made on behalf of the representatives of Dargah was that it's a grievous sin for a woman to be anywhere close to the Dargah of a Muslim male saint. That's point number one. Second, this is not a law as far as the shrine is concerned. It's not a Brahminican law, so to speak. The rules are set in a very different way. And let's understand one thing. Sabrimala temple is open to all castes. It's open to all religions. It is not open to only women of a certain age. So the the prevailing popular perception that all women are not allowed inside this
That doesn't
particular
make it
shrine
okay.
is first of all bunkum. That needs to be.
No,
But that doesn't
I
make it
understand that.
okay.
I understand that. I
No,
completely
that is-
understand
that's
that.
where
To
the problem
differentiate
is. That's
against
where the
women
problem
of a
is.
particular
This
age.
is-
That's
Please
exactly where the
understand
problem
this-
lies,
this-
Mr. Deepak.
I don't want to.
The rule imposed
Exactly,
by the
that's
temple
the
is
problem.
not based on the rule is not based on menstruation. Please understand that. This is an obligation that the presiding deity of the temple has cast upon himself, saying that he'll continue to be a brahmachari as long as he remains in that particular temple. Women are allowed to enter all other Ayyappa shrines. The deity in that particular temple has taken a certain form, has taken a certain vow, which is why
It's
certain
not
rules have to
true.
be
What
observed
you're
even by
saying is
men
not
when they have
true.
to enter that particular temple.
But
You
Ms.
don't have to follow
Kanabiran,
certain rules when you enter the
only
Ayyappa temple in
strengthens,
any
that
other
only,
city.
one
But
second, I
when you
just
enter
want to ask Ms.
Sabarimala, you have to follow a
Kanabiran,
certain set of
because
rules.
this only strengthens the
Similarly,
notion
women
that a
can
woman,
enter Ayyappa
that a
temple in
woman
any
is an
city.
object
There
of
is a certain set
desire.
of rule that needs to be followed as
No,
far as
so
the Ayyappa
a
temple is
woman,
concerned
so
in
Miss,
Sabrimala.
one second,
I
Miss
think-
Kanabiran, let me ask you, she's sitting next to you, that only strengthens this sort of notion that has been perpetuated over centuries, that women are somehow reduced to these objects of lust and desire and evil.
Exactly.
I've heard all kinds of reasons why, women
No,
who
if they
menstruate are not
arouse
allowed.
desire,
Of the issue,
it
that's-
is.
Yeah.
That's a gross oversimplification of the issue that
It
has
is,
absolutely no basis.
if they arouse
A
desire
celibate-
or
a
temptation,
celibate
it is up to the
God.
devotees to be able to
You
control
have
those emotions.
temples which are equally
You
dedicated
cannot
only
throw
to
people
women.
out because
One
of
at a
this.
time, please. Ma'am, go ahead.
Mr.
You
Raman
cannot
Ishwar just
deny
mentioned the
entry to
article
women
Bhagavati
because of
temple
this.
where on a specific day men are not even allowed
Mr.
inside the
Deepak,
temple because it's
please
exclusively
let her
dedicated to
speak.
women.
Please let
That's
her
even
speak.
true
but
for
that
the
is-
Dalits.
Next to you.
That's also
I-
wrong.
sorry, I'm
Please let
The
her
whole
finish her
thing
point.
of-
That's also
I'm giving
wrong.
everybody a
You
chance
do not
to
allow
speak.
the Dalits to go into the temple.
Yeah, one second, ma'am, Miss Kanabiran, please finish your
Yes.
point.
Atrocious. What kind of allegations? Atrocious.
Ma'am, please finish your point that you were making about, what Mr. Deepak was
I'm
saying.
just saying that to put the whole onus of temptation or of moving people aside on women is atrocious. All these years, women were caught up in the same beliefs, in the same traditions, and they did not question this, they did not want to question this, they fell into the same fold of belief. But today, as we go on infringing increasingly on rights of minorities, there will be more and more gates that are opened up, more and more barriers that get opened up, and more rights that will get exercised. And those rights will have, you build one wall in one place, another wall will have to collapse. I think that is the way civil society functions. And that is what is happening here.
And Ranjana
And
Kumari,
we
I'm
Ranjana,
so surprised that we didn't have this
No,
discussion in the backdrop of the Bombay
Ranjana,
High
my
Court's
point is
decision on
that
Haji Ali
as a
Dargah,
woman,
and we choose
Mr.
to have
Deepak,
this
one
discussion
second.
on the day
Please
of
don't speak out
Sankranti.
of turn, sir. Let's just try to have a civilized debate. Ranjana, my point is as a woman,
Sure, please.
I am
Please.
outraged that I, cannot go to the Sabrimala temple if I want to, or I cannot enter the, Haji Ali sanctum if I want to. Because the reasons given in both places to me in this century sound completely outrageous. I will question those. There are many women who will question those. And, that is the underlying argument here.
Let's make it
That is
loud
the
and
whole
clear,
problem. I
Nidhi,
mean,
that
that
we are
is
not going to
why
accept.
we
This is for
need-
Ranjana
And in
Kumari.
today's
This is for
please
Ranjana,
let me
please.
complete.
Yeah,
Please
go
let
ahead.
me complete. Please
Yeah,
let me
go ahead,
complete.
go ahead.
Let me make it loud and clear that women of India of today, whichever caste and religion and community they are not going to accept this. Because after all, whose interpretation it is? Who has decided that women cannot go in? I want to know some scriptures where it is really God saying that I am celibate, so women are only sex object. If they will enter, my celibacy will get challenged and threatened. That is why young women should not come in. Also, these are the customary traditions which have pushed pre-pubertal girls for child marriage. These are the traditions and custom, and in the name of religion that you have perpetuated a lot of crime against women in the country. I don't think this is allowed under the Constitution of India.